Ryan, something really embarrassing happened to me today.
Oh, what happened?
I was standing in a coffee shop. Everything was normal. Then a tourist smiled at me. He asked, "Excuse me, where are you from?" I knew the answer. I knew every single word, but nothing came out.
Nothing?
Nothing for about 5 seconds. I just stared at him. He smiled politely, said, "It's okay," and walked away.
How did you feel?
Honestly, terrible. I kept asking myself, why does this always happen? I've studied English for years. I know grammar. I know vocabulary. So why couldn't I answer one simple question?
Emma, can I ask you something? Sure. When he asked, where are you from? What happened inside your mind? Not outside, inside.
First, I understood his English. Then, I translated it into my native language. Then, I thought about my answer. Then, I tried to translate my answer back into English. By then, it was too late.
Exactly. And that single habit is stopping thousands of English learners from speaking naturally.
Really? Really? Just that?
Yes. But here's the interesting part. Most people think their biggest problem is grammar. Some believe they don't know enough vocabulary. Others blame their pronunciation. Almost everyone blames the wrong thing.
Then, what's the real problem?
I'll explain, but first, I want everyone listening to answer one question. When you see this, a cup of coffee, what's the very first word that appears in your mind? Be honest. Do you immediately think coffee? Or does your brain secretly say the word in your own language first before English appears? Most people never notice they're doing this because it's become automatic.
I definitely think in my native language first, every single time.
Exactly. And that's why today's conversation might completely change the way you learn English because we're not going to teach you more grammar. We're not going to give you a list of vocabulary. We're going to change something much more important, the way your brain works.
Can your brain really change like that?
Absolutely. And that's actually one of the most amazing things about the human brain. But before I explain how, let me ask you something else. Imagine two people both know exactly the same English words, exactly the same grammar, exactly the same level. One answers immediately, the other freezes. Why?
I've always wondered that.
Most people think the first person is simply smarter or more talented. They're usually the difference isn't knowledge. The difference is the path their brain takes.
The path?
Imagine your brain is like Google Maps. There are two roads. Road number one, short, fast, direct question, answer. Road number two, long, full of traffic. Question, translate. Think, translate again. Finally, answer. Which road do you think most English learners use?
Definitely the second one. That's exactly what happens to me.
And every time you repeat that process, your brain becomes even better at translating, not speaking, translating.
Wow. I've never thought about it that way. I've actually been practicing the wrong skill.
Exactly. You weren't training your English, you were training your translation habit.
That hurts a little because it's true.
Don't worry. Here's the good news. Your brain isn't broken. It has simply learned one root, and brains can learn new roots. Scientists call this neuroplasticity. Don't worry about the big word. It simply means your brain changes based on what you practice.
So, if I stop practicing translation, my brain can actually learn to think directly in English?
Yes, and the first exercise takes less than 1 minute
Really? Then why doesn't every English teacher teach it?
because most courses teach English. Very few teach your brain how to use English. And those are two completely different things.
Now I'm curious. What's the exercise?
I'll show you, but first, you need to understand one surprising reason why your brain keeps translating, even when you already know the answer. Because once you understand that, everything starts becoming easier
So, why does my brain keep translating even when I already know the English?
because your brain always chooses the easiest road.
The easiest road?
Yes! Think about learning to ride a bicycle. The first few days, you had to think about everything balance, pedaling, turning, braking. Everything felt difficult.
That's true. Now I don't even think about it.
Exactly. Your brain built a habit. Speaking English works the same way. If you've translated every sentence for years, translation becomes automatic, not because it's the best method, but because it's the most familiar.
So my brain isn't trying to make English harder, it's simply repeating what I've practiced.
Exactly. Your brain doesn't ask, is this the best method? It asks, what have we done thousands of times before?
That explains a lot. Whenever I feel nervous, I translate even more.
That's completely normal. Stress makes your brain choose familiar habits. That's why many learners speak better at home than in real conversations.
Wow. That happens to me all the time. When I'm practicing alone, I feel confident. But when a real person speaks to me, everything disappears.
Nothing disappears. Your English is still there. You're just taking the longest road to find it.
I like that idea. The English isn't gone, it's just stuck in traffic.
Exactly. And today, we're going to clear that traffic.
Exercise 1.
Let's try something together. Don't answer out loud. Just think. Ready? Imagine you're looking out of your window. You see a tree. What happens first? Do you think the word in your own language or tree? Now imagine a dog, a chair, your phone, your shoes. What happened?
I noticed something. Sometimes I thought directly in English, but sometimes my native language came first.
That's completely normal. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness because you can't change a habit until you notice it.
I've never actually paid attention to that before.
Most learners don't, they're busy trying to remember grammar rules. Meanwhile, their brain keeps following the same old path. Imagine you're walking through a forest. There's one wide path, it's easy to follow. Then there's another path, almost invisible. Almost invisible. Which path will you naturally choose?
The wide one? Of course.
Exactly. That's your translation habit. You've walked that path thousands of times. Thinking directly in English is the small path almost hidden.
So every time I think directly in English, I'm making that path a little wider
Exactly. Every single time, one thought, one sentence, one idea, you're strengthening a new pathway.
That actually makes learning feel less overwhelming. I don't have to become fluent today. I just have to build the path.
That's the mindset. Small repetitions, big results.
Exercise 2.
Let's make that path a little stronger right now. I'll say a situation. Don't translate. Simply imagine it. Ready? You're opening your front door. You're making coffee. You're checking your phone. You're laughing with a friend. You're sitting on a bus. What did you notice?
When I imagined the action, English came much faster.
Exactly, because your brain works better with images than translations. That's one of the biggest secrets of fluent speakers.
Wait, does that mean fluent speakers don't translate at all?
Most of the time, no, they think in pictures, ideas, feelings, situations. English simply becomes the label.
That changes everything. I've been trying to memorize words instead of connecting English to real life.
Exactly.
Ryan, I have to admit, I already feel different.
Really? What changed?
Before today, I thought speaking English was about learning more words. Now, I realize it's about using the words I already know in a different way.
Exactly. And that's an important realization. Many learners spend years collecting vocabulary without training their brain to use it naturally.
So from today, instead of asking, how many new words should I learn? I'll ask, can I think with the words I already know?
That's the right question. Because fluency doesn't begin when you know every word. It begins when your thoughts stop waiting for translation. Remember, fluency doesn't begin when you speak English perfectly. It begins the moment you start thinking in English.
Start with one thought today.
And tomorrow, your English conversation will feel a little more natural. If today's conversation helped you think about English in a new way, don't forget to subscribe. Every week, we'll help you speak English more naturally, one real conversation at a time.